If you watched my favorites of the decade video, you might know that I had pretty high hopes going into 2020. This year served a lot more as a buffer year because 2020 is already looking like it's going to be another 2017. I mean, was I wrong? 2017 had Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Hollow Knight, and here in 2020 we got Animal Crossing and several updates to Animal Crossing. Official Nintendo news has been pretty scarce for some time now. The last real big direct was months ago back in September. There was a fairly sizable direct in March and a much shorter one just a couple weeks back, but those are classified as a Nintendo Direct Mini, meaning they are worthless to me. Don't care. Don't care. Sign me the hell up.
Presenting every single game.
I really am happy for the SMT fans and others who are genuinely excited for these announcements, but as someone who has no interest in a lot of these announcements, frankly, I'm mad and I'm pissed. Nintendo's past few months have been complicated, with them shifting on announcing games on their Twitter rather than a full-blown direct. I don't necessarily mind this for some titles, but I miss the excitement of watching a presentation eagerly awaiting what's to come next. When Paper Mario was announced, I was surprised because even though its past couple titles haven't been critically acclaimed, I feel that the Paper Mario name is still held in a higher regard than just a random Twitter post. But even so, I wouldn't care if they announced everything on Twitter as long as they were just giving us something. Instead, the Nintendo of America Twitter account has turned into a meme page. God damn, is that some good looking water though? Maybe this ain't so bad.
That's Dunban over there!
Now, I can't say this year has been awful. It's hard to release Animal Crossing and Xenoblade in the same year and call it awful. But I just wish we had more information on games coming out, future Smash characters, future plans. Obviously with the world in the shape it's in right now, it makes sense that there'd be delays and such on titles. But we haven't gotten much info on that, and Nintendo themselves said that upcoming titles have not been affected. I'm not entirely sure myself if that means this was the lineup they had set for this year or what, but either way, man, I just want to know what that red-hatted bastard is up to these days. Nintendo fans have always been reliant on rumors, and the Nintendo ninjas have always been there to stop them. But lately, even the rumor mill has been pretty rough. Genuinely believable rumors and leaks have been few and far between. I would love to see a bunch of Mario 35th Anniversary remasters, but aside from a few select leaks, there's not much to learn about there. Breath of the Wild 2 is probably my most anticipated game, and I certainly didn't expect it to come out this year, as great as that would have been. But I had hoped to hear at least a little bit more news about it, whether officially or through some leaks. I'm a fairly easy man to please, honestly. You give me a 10-second trailer that says, yep, it's still a thing, I'm content with that. Sure, I'd love more, but goddamn, at this point I'm like a baby Mario without his spaghetti. Aside from the rumors, let's take a look at some of the games that have already come out this year or are upcoming. Tokyo Mirage Sessions and Rescue Team DX are two somewhat big titles that released at the start of this year. I haven't had the pleasure of playing either of them, but they seem to have received at least decent reviews, and I'm glad to see Tokyo Mirage Sessions move over from the Wii U to the Switch. And as I've already mentioned, Animal Crossing, Xenoblade Definitive Edition, and Paper Mario Origami King were released during the spring and summer season. These games are all honestly solid releases. I've already made videos on all three of these in some way, so if you want to hear my full thoughts on them, you're welcome to go check those out. But I adorned my time with Animal Crossing, and I was glad I finally had the chance to play through the entirety of Xenoblade from start to finish. Another release that came out early June was Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics. This was announced earlier in the year, and while I thought it looked pretty fun, I hadn't considered I would get it. Obviously, you can tell where this is going, as I did end up getting it, and I had an absolute blast with my friends. The game's really polished and a ton of fun. I wish it allowed you to play more games with 3 or more players, as a lot of them are restricted to only 2 players. But there's still a lot of good times to be had in the hellhole that is Ludo. But what about the next 4 or 5 months of 2020? What releases then? Let's take the time to scour the internet and, okay, this list is outdated. Well, a quick trip to the Coming Soon tab in the eShop tells us exactly what we need to know. Jack shit. You guys want to play my baby? Scrolling through here or even various websites, including Nintendo's own, it's hard to find meaningful big titles. Bravely Second's sequel, aka Bravely Default 2, the 3rd game in the series, is set to come out sometime this year. Maybe, I guess. Oh my god, Crowdy Farmer. Pokemon fans at least have it decent. I googled Pokemon mobile release date, and apparently it's already out. I can't be bothered to verify that or not, so here we are. Sword and Shield are receiving an update sometime this fall, which is pretty neat, but I haven't even beaten the main game yet. And Pokemon Snap looks pretty good, but I don't believe it has a set release date, which means it's probably not coming out in 2020, but who knows? It's fine, I'll be too busy playing my baby anyways. Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, and Breath of the Wild 2 are all games set in development, but who knows how close they are to completion. Nintendo randomly announced Paper Mario out of the blue, so it's not out of the question for titles like these to get that treatment, but still I won't be waiting with bated breath. This year may not be the absolute best for Nintendo fans, but at least we do still have some good stuff out there. And I'm excited for other stuff too. Crystal Chronicles looks like it's gonna be great, Ghost of Tsushima is gorgeous, and I personally cannot wait for Halo Infinite. We can only hope we'll get some news on our favorite first-party Nintendo games sooner rather than later. But now if you'll excuse me, the Nintendo ninjas are knocking on my door and oh fuck, I gotta go.